Lovely.
Hello and welcome to episode 73 of the Paro Pod. You're here with your hosts, Mark and Owen.
Yo, yo, yo.
This is one of our recommended film episodes, as you know. Because I'm presenting.
Yeah.
Because I've began, I've broken the silence here. And we're gonna be talking about Orson Welles' final film. I believe it's his final film.
Yeah, his own directing, because I think he was
in other films.
Yeah, he was in like some. I think his last thing was some Transformers movie.
Was it?
One of the animated ones. Yeah.
Right.
He's the voice of like a big, huge Transformer in it.
That's gas.
Yeah.
But his last directorial effort, anyway, in 1973, F for Fake, which is it's hard to kind of put into a box. It's like a film essay, kind of, and like a documentary, but also a drama. And he's kind of there. He presents it basically. So it's something we'll talk about. We'll discuss that in about an hour.
We'll get onto that. We'll
get onto that. But yeah, how you been past week?
Been pretty good.
Good vibes.
Yeah, mad hungover on Saturday.
yeah. Intense times on Saturday. A lot to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good night.
It was good, yeah.
Fucking 8 o'clock bullshit though.
Yeah, that is a joke. That is actually a joke. But like, at least they weren't strict, They weren't like, get out, They're like, they kind of let us hang around a bit.
It's like, bro, ordered one of those fountain cocktails. Come on, give us a break.
Yeah, we ordered Solero, man.
Shout out to Mimas.
Mimas, yeah.
Good spot.
Yeah, I had a few surprise guests, a few notable absences. Maybe he's listening. If he is, please stop listening. We don't want to talk to you ever again.
He's definitely not listening.
But that's a joke, by the way. But no, it was good.
I'm dead serious.
Is he going to push back the closing times next week?
Yeah, I heard that.
Good stuff.
Announcements to be made.
Because I didn't think that was going to happen for ages. I thought they're going to leave it till late Feb,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is like, by next week it is like the end of January, so.
Yeah, I suppose. But
months flown in.
But the cases are still like huge. Like
I've
still
15,000.
15,000.
I've just stopped looking at it.
Yeah, I don't either. But like, I've noticed I don't really know anyone who has it now.
I think there was the peak. I think I saw something that was like the peak was last week.
The peak? Yeah. We're getting 26,000 cases a day.
Flying back down. Yeah, 26,000.
That's insane. Yeah. Insane. And that's only half.
Mad.
That's about half of the real number. But it's all looking up, really, I think.
It's all looking up, Millhouse.
It's all coming up to, yeah. And I think by April, I think we're going to be, fine.
Yeah,
That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
Until the next fucking variant comes around.
Don't. People won't buy it.
There can't be more.
They can't. Like, that's it. Omicron. Like that's the end. That's the last letter in the Greek alphabet, isn't it?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Well, that Omega, Omicron, same thing. But
I don't want the Omega. I don't want the Alpha variant.
The Omega variant. That's the big one. That's the reboot.
That's cataclysmic, like.
Yeah. That's 2012 stuff. 2022. Think about it.
Switch the numbers around.
Yeah. Think about it, man.
Think about it.
But yeah. So. It was a good week anyway, and I think it's only going to get better.
It can only go up. That's why I'm looking at. That's why I'm looking at life anymore. Things can only get better.
Absolutely. Yeah. The past 2 months, probably the lowest, probably the worst things have ever been, ever.
Yeah, I mean, like in terms of going out and stuff like that.
Well, just in general.
Yeah, just in general.
General life.
Just bad vibes in general.
Yeah, but it's only going up.
Yeah.
But yeah. What were you watching this week, actually?
What was I watching? I watched a documentary about folk horror. A 3-hour-long documentary called Woodlands, Dark and Days Bewitched, A History of Folk Horror. Thank God for the doc in front of us. This thing is on Shudder at the moment. And it's just like, it's a history of folk horror. It's right in the title. But like, I think this documentary's kind of changed the way that I look at folk horror, because when we talk about folk horror, oftentimes we're like, there's very limited films that you could categorize as folk horror.
Yeah.
Well, what this documentary does is like, here's the 3 films that you know as folk horror, which one are general, Blood and Satan's Claw and Wicker Man. And it's like, here's the 3 of them, and here's the similarities between the 3 of them, and here's films in British cinema that are also like that. So like Pen this Fan, other things by that Rudkin wrote as well. And then it's like, it's all about like not cults, but like it's about like, other religions and stuff like that. There's a great one of the lines in it is like the best description for folk horror that I've heard, and that it is like the horror of we don't go back, like we never go back to the way things were. We can only progress, and if we're going back, that's what's horrifying. And that's, you know, explicitly with British folk horror. But then it's just like, well, we'll take these like these signifiers, I guess, or these like tropes of folk horror, and look at it from other perspectives. Like we look at it goes through like American cinema, and it's like Southern Gothic horror.
Yeah.
It's like very, very similar to folk horror.
Yeah, definitely.
You could basically say that Southern Gothic is folk horror, even to the point where it's just like the landscape, oftentimes in Southern horror, is what's horrifying.
True Detective. Like it is basically folk horror. Yeah, very similar. Yeah, but like with a detective twist.
Yeah,
neo-noir kind of. Yeah,
or like just like stuff that Edgar Allan Poe would have written and stuff like that is very folk horror-ish. And then it's like some bits in Lovecraft can also be read as folk horror, and then it goes like, here's what folk horror looks like in South American films. With like their use of folk tale legends, and just that. It's also folk horror, and it's also like the idea of indigenous land being like a site of trauma, and that being where the horror comes from and stuff like that, which is basically folk horror. And then later on in the documentary, there's a bit where some guy said that the moment that he stopped viewing folk horror as a genre and more like notes that are being played. So like if similar, like you can like folk horror is actually like it's a 3-hour long documentary. It goes through like 150 films, 200 films, something huge like that. And it's like not every one of them is like explicitly folk horror, but there's a very strong argument to be made that they are very linked to folk horror at the very least. It's a really good documentary. You should definitely watch it because you really like it. You would really like it.
Yeah, I definitely will.
And just like the amount of films that they go to, you're like, I want to watch this, I want to watch this, I want to watch this, I want to watch this. And Shudder was just like, well, we know that people are going to watch this documentary. Here's a few of the really cool ones that are also now on Shudder if you want to watch them. So there's like one of the films I want to watch is it's called like On the Knife's Edge or something like that. It's a indigenous Canadian film spoken. I think it's like one of like 5 films or 4 films that are spoken in whatever the language's name is. I can't remember what the name of the language is, but
they have like a million languages.
Yeah, but like this is like I think it's one of the only films that is spoken in this language because there's only like 50 people left in the world that speak the language or something mental like that. So it was really good. It was really enlightening, and like this, you know, the ideas of folk horror have transcended further than like what we talk about when we talk about folk horror. So actually, my idea of like what films are folk horror has expanded. And so one of the films that they talked about in the documentary was this film called The Wind, which came out in 2018. And I watched this with my mum. It's directed by Emma Tammy. I want to remember her name because this is a name that we might want to keep our eye on, because The Wind isn't an amazing film, but it is really good.
All right.
Or has really good ideas in it.
That's a folk horror.
Yeah, like it's a Southern Gothic folk horror-ish film. So it's basically the story is this woman is living on a prairie. Is that one? Like
big open plains.
Yeah, she's living on the prairie. And she's with her husband, and these neighbors move in like down the way a bit, like across the way or whatever. There is something on the land, or something that has emerged from the land, that is like psychologically fucking her up and like terrorizing everyone that's on the land. But her husband never experiences it or sees it or anything because he like leaves to go off to like the local town or whatever to like work or whatever, and so she's isolated on this prairie, and it's called The Wind because there's and this was mentioned in the documentary, that around this time there was a folktale that the wind made women go insane. So it's like there's something about the landscape, something about people living on a land that they stole from other people, and the lands, like the geography is fighting back against them.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. But it's also it's one of those horror films where it's just like, is it supernatural forces or is it psycho? Like, is she
mental illness?
Is it a mental illness thing? And that side of it was kind of like,
that's annoying, isn't it?
It's a real trope now.
Yeah, it's like an anti-trope at the same time. It's just like every film's like that.
Yeah, like there's so many films like that.
Yeah, it's like it can't just be a metaphor. Like it has to be. They have to make it clear this is a metaphor.
Yeah,
you know, rather than just like let you imply that. Yeah,
and at the end of the film, it's like, no, yeah, it is like it's not. It's no longer a metaphor. It is literally like it's just a mental illness. Just you're seeing it from her perspective.
I hate when they do that. Yeah.
So it's just like, oh, could you not just keep going with the idea of like the folk horror-ish stuff? But it's still good. And like, one of the ways that Tammy makes the paranoia that the character experiences and like the confusion of it is that the narrative is chopped up and like switched around. So like something happens, you see something in the future, and then you see the past, and it switches around like that. The only problem is that it's not very clear like when it's switching time. And it was at the end of the film that I realized that one of the characters was a character that died at the start of the film, and I did not cop that until like the last 15 minutes.
That's not good.
And I was like, oh, that's that character that literally died in the opening of the film. Oh, right. That wasn't very clear. Like for me, it wasn't very clear. And a lot of the time I was just kind of confused as to when are we. But it is still good, but it's also kind of like the folk horror aspects of it are very good, and they're the best parts of the film. But the worst parts of the film is the like, oh, is it all just mental illness type of stuff? Because that's I'm tired of that. Like the relic
so
was
boring.
It's so boring, and like it's not explored. Like I really like Relic, which is like that. Like that's literally what it is. But it explores it through the house and through like the characters and stuff like that. This is literally just one character is experiencing this mental illness because she's isolated on this prairie, and you know she doesn't belong basically. And like that's all that it is. So
it's like it's like putting the subtext like in the text.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
But it's like trying to be smart about it. It's like if Lovecraft wrote stories and at the end he was like, oh, the monsters weren't real, they were just racist. You know? It's like that's not the point.
That's not the point.
That's not the point of a story. Like you don't say what it means. Or like you should like at least dance around it a bit, be poetic about it. Yeah, it is a weird trend recently.
It's like I feel like the Babadook was one of the first ones to do that.
Yeah, and then like Hereditary smashed it, and I loved how it did that. That was amazing in the theater to see that.
And even like Hereditary isn't even very explicit with that either.
Yeah, it's kind of that's what you want.
Yeah,
it's
I don't want it to be very explicit.
Yeah, you're kind of guessing. Like up until like a very clear scene that like in the last act of Hereditary, you're like this is going the way where it's going to say she's just crazy. And then it just pulls the rug from underneath your feet. Yeah, it's so
like
dramatic.
She's actually not crazy, and it is real.
It's perfect. It's so well done.
This is the opposite. Where it's like, no, she is crazy.
She's just crazy. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, the wind, it's all right.
Yeah,
the
wind doesn't have anything to do with it.
Don't mind the wind.
And it's also like it's not even because I was thinking like, oh, it's just a wind, but it's not. It's not even just a wind. Like there's a monster around. Like there's a demon. Because there's like what's the word I'm looking for? Not a preacher. What's to say a preacher, like a father,
a pastor,
a deacon. That's it. There's a pastor that goes around, and he gives her a book that's just like the demons of the prairie, and he like lists off all of them, and it's just like Beelzebub or whatever. And it's just like,
right.
Oh, it's just a demon that's in the area, but it's also like religious trauma that she's going through because she's trying to be a good Christian, but she's like. She's living on land that's like covered in blood and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if it was just the wind though. Like,
yeah, that's what I want. It's called the wind, but the wind isn't really part of it. Like, it is, but it's also not.
Yeah, sometimes it's cooler. Not in, like, the way, like, The Happening did it or whatever, but it's cooler when it's, like, something that isn't human. In, like, I remember I read a book ages ago now. It's called In the Dust of This Planet, and it examined different, examined the philosophy of different, like, horror tropes and stuff. And the way you have demonic people, you have demonic characters, and you have sort of people who are possessed, and then you have sort of like a different category where it's like forces that are possessed. You know? Like wind, like black wind. And I use like this cool example. That was the three main archetypes I had. And I had this cool example of Dante's Inferno, or the parts of the Divine Comedy where basically the villain or whatever, it's not a villain, but like the demonic elements aren't demons. They're just like, it's like a black wind that like that blows through hell, but it still like kind of personifies something, and it still feels like a character. And had all these illustrations in the book, like which clearly weren't humanoid characters, but at the same time were like really menacing, and I had still live on hundreds of years since they were first written down. I really stuck with even like biblical passages and stuff like that. Like they never talk about like the devil and stuff as like a person. It's always like it's like multiple things, or it's something that you wouldn't like sort of imagine has any sort of like sovereignty in itself, you know. And it makes it weirder when something that shouldn't be like self-aware is. You know? That's kind of folk horror though. That's like that's like the vibe, isn't it? Because that's what the film almost starts off with, where it's like the wind is acting weird, but then there's like then it retracts down. It's like, no, there's a monster that's also, on the land, and it's like it's a demon that's fucking with her. Because it's like a bit where like the best bit of the film is when she's in the gaff, and she's pregnant at the time, and she hears like a voice in the wind, and she goes and she opens the door because she thinks it's her husband, and nobody's there. So then she closes the door, and then she hears it again, and then she locks the door. But then like you can hear the wind picking up a bit, and then all the candles and the fire are just blowing out, and she's in a room by herself, and you're like, what the fuck's gonna happen? And then the fire just lights up again. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like the wind is fucking with her. But then like 10-15 minutes later, the wind is fucking with her, but now there's like claw marks like on the walls and stuff like that. Because it's now like a demon, or like a beast is now. It's not the wind that's doing that, it's the beast that's in the gaff that's doing that. And then it retracts, then it dumbs it down even further. It's like, oh no, it's just mental illness. Yeah, she's just crazy. She's just crazy. So, it... Good start though, good premise. Really good. It's a slow burn as well. How long is it? It's only an hour and a half. Or it's even less than that. I think it's like 85 minutes or 80 minutes. And it is good. And the main actor, she's really, really good. I think it's one of the first things that she's done, but she's really good in it. But yeah, it's just like one of those things where it's like, it's a mixed bag that has some good in it, but then some like tropes and simplistic shit. Kind of shits the bed. Yeah. Still good though. Yeah. And I would recommend it. Like, it's the best, like, it's a 3-star movie if I've ever seen one. 3 stars. All right. And like all the prairie shots and stuff like that look beautiful. Yeah, I might give that. It's about isolation. Give that a watch, and that's featured in the documentary. Yeah, it's one of the things that they mentioned in the documentary. I just like the idea that it was like, oh, the wind made women crazy, because like one of the shots they showed in the documentary is like dust everywhere that's in the gaff, and you're like, oh, she's like constantly fighting against the elements to like have this like to build herself a home for her family to be built. But then one of the things that happens, and like spoilers for the wind, but I feel like not many people are gonna watch this film anyway, is that like she has a miscarriage, and that's the first thing. It was like, oh, like life can't, if you're not from this land, you can't live here, and like you don't belong here, and you can't create life on this land. But then it drops it down to being like, oh, she's suffering from mental health issues because she had like a miscarriage. Yeah. Babadook vibes. Yeah. And it's like about grief and isolation and stuff like that, but it's still dumbing it down to being mental health stuff. So, Yeah, it's just it's like a. I'm sick of this trope. Individualizing it almost. Yeah. It's like it's just in her head. That's the thing. Where it's like it should be a universal thing. Yeah, it should be something that's like in the atmosphere. It's in the land.
Like if
in
her
the soil.
like if her husband was experiencing it, then you got something there.
Yeah, like a psychogenic illness or something.
But
like
it's
that,
like no, he's like you're just crazy, and then she kills him.
Fair.
Yeah, so yeah. It's alright.
Sure. Look, I'll have to have a look.
Yeah.
I'll have a look at the documentary.
Watch the documentary. The documentary's 3 hours though.
So
It's
if it's
still-
good, then
it's
I'll watch
good.
it.
It's good to have on like in the background. And you just hear like
Yeah.
you hear a film that they're talking about. Like that sounds fucking class. I want to watch that.
Yeah. Maybe skip through the bits I
Yeah.
don't want to watch, but yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Folk horror, right up my street.
And it's also like international folk horror. Like it opens your eyes up to Australian folk horror, Asian folk horror, South American folk horror, other European countries folk horror.
Other European countries, they have
Mad.
cinemas.
Mad, yeah. French folk horror,
What?
Italian folk horror.
That's
Good
crazy.
Shit.
Yeah.
Good shit. Did you
Not
watch
bad.
anything good?
I finished Succession this week.
Lovely.
And there's no point talking about it, because you haven't seen it. You should watch it though.
I should watch
Because
it.
Succession, that's like I'm kind of very, very late to the train.
Mm.
Very late to this train.
I feel like a lot of people are though. I feel like a lot of people picked it up in the past.
Yeah.
For this season.
recently. Yeah,
Mhm.
for the third season, because I think it got a lot of hype, and it's kind of based. It's basically about media power, which is pretty cool. Because I didn't know. I thought it was just kind of like a upper.
There's just all these rich people fucking around.
Yeah, corporate. It's got corporate power struggles and stuff like that. But it's actually because it's based on the the Murdochs basically,
Mm-hmm.
and the Murdoch family, and like I don't know much about the Murdoch family. I just know Rupert Murdoch is evil, obviously.
Yeah.
And apparently his kids are like always fighting, and they're like they're all in the company. They're all growing up in the company. There's like huge nepotism, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Who's gonna take over?
yeah, there's huge egos, and yeah, that's like the premise of the show. Like who's going to take over after basically Rupert Murdoch, who's played by Brian Cox, but he's called Logan Roy. It's all like fictionalized
Mhm.
stuff, and it's basically who's going to take over after him. And he's 3 kids, and I think it's Jeremy Strong, Sarah Snook, and Rory Culkin, who was great, who was Macaulay Culkin's brother.
Mhm.
He's amazing, and he's so funny. Because like it's like not even like a straight drama, It's not like a boardroom drama. It's
Yeah.
a comedy. It's
Yeah.
a comedy first, and then a drama.
That
It's
sounds sick.
it's not. Yeah. It's actually it's amazing. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. It's like usually these days I only watch like one TV series a year, basically. So I'm not actually sure.
You want to make sure it's good.
Yeah. I'm not even sure how it ranks, but like this is something that I definitely I can't wait to watch the 4th season, because it's like the twist as well. The show makes me feel like an idiot, which in a really good way, where like it has twists.
It doesn't treat you like an idiot.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like an idiot. Because
Yeah.
how did I not see this coming?
Because you're just in the show, and you're just along for the ride, and you're just enjoying every second of it. That you're not thinking, oh, what's gonna happen next? Oh, I think this is. Oh, I should like read into that part. It's like you can do those things.
It's like Breaking Bad in that sense.
Yeah, or the
Mm.
the Sopranos, where you just sort of go along with it, and like, the writer is like, obviously like fucking a million steps ahead, but you're in safe hands as well.
Yeah.
Like, everything that happens, it's just gonna be good.
There's good faith. You've got good faith.
There's good.
Yeah,
You're in
that's
safe
good.
hands. And the thing is, it's the guy who did Jesse Armstrong. He's the showrunner. He's the guy who did Peep Show, that Mitchell and Webb look, and you ever remember that show My Parents Are Aliens?
Oh
He
yeah.
also did that.
But it's not like Nickelodeon or Cartoon.
Yeah.
I fucking do remember that, guys.
In like 2000.
Mm.
But he also did Four Lines, which is like
It's a pretty decent film. From
very, very
what
good.
I remember from it, I can't really remember that
Four
well.
Lines is very, very
Mm.
good. You should. It's because that was Chris Morris who directed that. He did Brass Eye, like, and it's all.
Oh yeah.
Which is similar kind of
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, ethos or
Mhm.
like sort of attitude towards all these things, like kind of like satirical take on media and power, and he did all those things, and I only found out like a few days ago, like halfway through season 3. I was like, what the fuck? Like the guy at the Peep Show did this, and it's produced by Adam McKay, who did like Don't Look Up and other guys and Big Short, all very smart films about similar kind of subject matters. Also, Will Ferrell is an executive producer. So it's a mad mix.
It's a really weird mix.
It's a bizarre mix, but
Mhm.
it just pays off. And like, I think one of the key things is it has an amazing title sequence. Great title sequence. Great music.
You know a TV show is gonna be good when you're like, I'm not skipping the music at the start.
Exactly. Yeah, I never skip the start of it. Never skip the start of it. It's so good. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I finished that there the other day. Sort of binged it. And the main character is, or the fucking the bad guy. One of the main characters is played by Brian Cox.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, Brian Cox. Like I was just reminded, this guy's an amazing. Like he's one of the great Shakespearean actors and all this stuff.
Yeah.
He did like King Lear. I'm pretty sure we watched his version of King Lear in school and stuff.
I watched the Ian McKellen one.
Oh right,
That's
yeah.
what
Yeah.
we did watch when we were studying. Later.
Oh wait, yeah. Were we in? No, we're in.
No, we're in
classes,
different
yeah.
English classes.
But yeah, so I started watching one of his old films, Manhunter, from 1986. He was actually
old.
he was the first guy to play Hannibal Lecter, the famous Hannibal Lecter.
How many people have played Hannibal Lecter? Like 4?
Yeah, I think so. 4.
Because I think Anthony Hopkins plays the same. I think he's still Hannibal Lecter in Red Dragon. I'm like 90% sure of that.
Yeah, he's still
So
Hannibal Lecter.
There's been 4.
There's 4. Yeah, Brian Cox, Anthony Hopkins, Mads Mikkelsen, and whoever played him in Hannibal Rising.
Yeah, it's a prequel, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, who cares? But yeah, Manhunter is based on the Red Dragon book, which was then readapted into Red Dragon in 2002. And yeah, it's like this 1986 film by Michael Mann, and it's kind of like it was really overlooked at the time because it is kind of I don't know. It's not like
It's not standard, generic kind of.
Yeah, like by the numbers, but in the sense that like it's just a really well executed film, you know. Like there's nothing insane about it. There's nothing really sticks out, but it's just really well done, you know. But it's just the same guy did Heat. Michael Mann did Heat, yeah, and so it's the same kind of vibe, but like, you know, it's 86 and it's a Hannibal Lecter film, and it's Michael Mann directing. And it's like you can kind of picture before you watch it what like how it's gonna like play out, you know. It's like fucking because it's about the whole thing, the Red Dragon arc where it's Will Graham, the detective, going after the Tooth Fairy, who's Francis Dollarhide, and he's a serial killer who kills based on lunar cycles, and they're trying to find him before he kills the next person, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was readapted again actually for the second half of season 3 of Hannibal, which is also extremely good. It's very, very good.
I really need to watch that.
Hannibal.
I need to watch that.
You would like Hannibal.
Yeah, I think I would.
It's extremely overwrought and like Shakespearean, but like in a really deliberate way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very, very. It looks really good.
It's that genre, I guess, like House, which is like asshole geniuses. I feel like a lot of film bros really like Hannibal because they're like, I am Hannibal.
Yeah.
I'm
Hannibal,
you
man.
fucking idiot, you don't get it.
Yeah.
So Ridley Scott, there's actually 3 films with Anthony Hopkins. There's Hannibal, there's Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and then Red Dragon. Ridley Scott directed Hannibal.
Did he?
Yeah, which is, I did not know that film existed.
Hannibal. Yeah,
It's called Hannibal.
I'd heard of Hannibal. Yeah. Yeah, and then they did Red Dragon a year later.
Yeah, weird.
But like Hannibal's not even liked, is it? Red Dragon's more liked.
Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
Maybe because it's got Edward Norton in it or something.
Yeah. He's Will Graham in that one,
Mm.
and in this one it's some guy, I can't remember his name, but
Some dude.
he's 80s Will Graham, and he has
Yeah.
like fucking shoulder pads, and he's got like his sleeves rolled up. He wears a white suit and all this stuff,
Dope.
and he like looks out and like I think it's Baltimore, but like it's New York City basically. So
Yeah.
it's like neon lights, is like synths playing in the background and
Mm.
stuff. It's like where's the Tooth
Where
Fairy?
is he?
Yeah. And he has like what's his name, Jack Crawford, like the head detective guy, and he's like they have that scene where it's like you nearly blew up half the city, Will Graham. It's like, you know, badge gun.
Yeah,
it's like
give me a gun.
give me a gun. You don't know what you get. You're too far into the
You're
case.
a loose cannon.
You're off the case, Will Graham. It's like it's so funny, but it's mad 80s, and it also has like an 8-minute you know that song Inagata Davida.
Maybe. What's it
You
in?
wouldn't. It's in Resident Evil. You know when it's actually in the one we're actually going to talk about now in a few minutes. It's in where they're at the start of the film, the convoy. They're playing a song. It's in the God of Davida. Yeah. It's also in the Simpsons one where they're in the church and Bart starts playing it. But there's an 8-minute version of that, like mad 80s. There's an 8-minute version of In the God of Davida that plays throughout the entire like climactic confrontation between Will Graham and the serial killer. It's so funny. And but yeah, like Will Graham's like he's come out of retirement for one last case to take down the Tooth Fairy, and he's like the whole it's like cat and mouse kind of game, and he needs Hannibal's advice to sort of get inside the mind of the serial killer.
Is that all that Hannibal really is? He's just a psychopath that can help you catch other psychopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in this one, anyway.
And in Sounds of the Lambs, and in Well, Red Dragon's a remake of this, I guess.
Yeah. That's one of the pluses of the show, because the show leads up to before he's caught, because he's caught, and from the movies, the perception is of Hannibal is just as a guy. He's in the mask. He's in the fucking hand trolley.
Yeah.
He's already in prison. He's just kind of there as like counsel for detectives. But in the show, it's like it's all about how they come around to figuring out who he is and what he's doing and stuff. It's very, very, very well done. Even though you know what's going to happen, you're just like, you're on the edge of your seat the entire time.
Yeah.
And you're in safe hands.
I imagine that like the Ridley Scott Hannibal's just like, Hannibal, as you've never seen him on the loose.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Like, that's not why people like Hannibal.
yeah. But yeah, like the thing with this one is he's barely in it. He's in it for about 10 minutes.
Sure, that's the same thing as Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a Leatherface kind of thing where he's like kind of half in it.
He's such an iconic character, but he's barely in the films that he's actually in.
Yeah, it's just because he has like a...
And I guess that's the reason why, like, when the films have a lot of them, they're not very good.
yeah, probably. He's only in about 10 minutes. Brian Cox is just, like, he's barely in it.
Who's better, Brian Cox or
Hopkins?
Hopkins.
Probably Hopkins.
Yeah,
because
it's too iconic.
Brian Cox, like Hopkins has pretty been on screen for hours as Hannibal Lecter. Like, Brian Cox, he does a good job. Like, you know, so the whole evokes the kind of like genius madman kind of thing where like.
Okay, but like
clearly scheming.
Cox in this film versus Silence of the Lambs, just Silence of the Lambs.
I think Cox could have done a great job in Silence of the Lambs. I think he could have done just as good a job.
Yeah.
But maybe
both Shakespearean dudes as well.
Yeah. I think Hopkins. I don't know if Cox could have done the whole like, like the weirder parts.
Yeah.
Because like Andy Hopkins is such a weird guy.
Yeah. Whereas, he looks like he could eat shit.
yeah. Whereas Brian Cox just seems like just like an old fella. Like, you'd see him at the pub or something.
I rewatched Silence of the Lambs last year. It's a good movie.
It is. It is
a good movie.
It's really solid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really solid movie.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's like this almost, which is kind of like maybe why this had more of a resurgence recently. Because when you like play it against something like Silence of the Lambs, like they're very like, I don't know if you say neck and I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs in ages. Maybe not neck and neck, but like they're very much similar kind of levels of quality anyway.
They're really solid films.
Yeah, they're very well done. They're very, very good. It's a good story. And it's great acting, great production. Like Michael Mann, like the whole thing with like you see in Heat, like this use of color and stuff. Like I think in Heat they call out like color theory. Like they have a discussion about color theory, like Kandinsky's like color wheeling or like whatever stuff like that. And like you can see it in the movie. There's like different hues used to like symbolize different vibes and different characters and stuff. And it's the same in Manhunter. It's like you have Will Graham on one side and Hannibal on the other, and Hannibal's all whites and it's like very like clean, sterile, kind of like, I don't know. It's like it's but they're
it's off-putting.
Yeah, it's off-putting. Something wrong about it, and then Will Graham's more like kind of
earthy.
Yeah, something like that. But the thing is, they're basically two sides of the same person, and that's the whole theme that runs throughout the entire series. That what's kind of like scary about Hannibal to Will is the fact that Hannibal and Will are basically the same guy.
Yeah,
and Hannibal can get inside of Will's head, but only because Will needs to get inside of his head to do his job.
Yeah.
So he's putting himself in the shoes of a serial killer, which is kind of like an admission of the fact that this monster is a human. Yeah, and he's not just.
I was like, you could have done this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like, great.
Yeah, because that's the thing in Silence of the Lambs as well. Like that is just the cool thing about Hannibal Lecter. It's like you never want to let this guy inside your head, but you need to stop some serial killer going on a rampage. And only Hannibal can, has the brains to figure it out, whatever. Yeah,
this monster, but at the same time,
absolute genius.
Has to be your brother.
Yeah, it's brilliant. He fascinates me. What's that? I don't understand it. It intrigues me. Whatever that fucking the Knives Out thing.
The Knives Out.
You know that meme. The meme is like, I can't comprehend it. It fascinates me. Whatever it is, like that. Can't remember the meme. Doesn't matter. Well, yeah, no, because like I want to watch Collateral. That's also Michael Mann.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx.
Collateral, yeah.
That's meant to be really good as well.
Is that? I always confuse that with Munich. Does Munich have Tom Cruise in it?
I don't know what Munich is, so I'm going to say yes. Sure.
I think that's Steven Spielberg though. But yeah.
Yeah, that is. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Munich is a Steven Spielberg. I've known that name. Yeah.
Collateral. I feel like I saw that on like Sky.
It's on Netflix.
I've definitely seen
it's
that.
on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for a bit.
Is that where he has like white hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is. He's like a hitman. He gets a taxi to drive him around places, and he's like,
Yeah.
if you stick with me for the entire night, I'll give you like $5,000 or something like
That's
that.
a mad dad film.
Yeah.
That's a huge dad
But that's
film.
also like Michael Mann's kind of thing.
Yeah,
dad vibes.
Yeah.
Like peak, like really, really good dad films.
Yeah, peak dad cinema.
Talk about peak dad cinema. I watched Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, extended cut. Gonna finish off the Lord of the Rings series, not the franchise. I'm not watching the Hobbits.
Yeah.
Gonna finish that off next week. But Two Towers. I remember being younger and thinking it went Return of the King, Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers. Like all very good, but like Two Towers is the worst out of them all.
Is this the longest one?
No, Return of the King is
it?
Return of the King. The extended, even the theatrical cut is over 3 hours, and then the extended cut is over 4 hours.
Over 4 hours.
Yeah, the end goes on for like an hour. Yeah, I remember. I think the end of Return of the King, like even the theatrical cut, is like 45 minutes or something like that. Of them just like, here's everyone at the end of the journey, and here's everyone's like loose ends being tied up and stuff like that. But yeah, Two Towers is way better than I remember being. I actually think it is better than Fellowship of the Ring. Like Fellowship of the Ring is super cozy, but now it's not cozy anymore.
Is this with Gollum?
This is the one where Gollum's like, you actually get to see Gollum. And my God, Andy Serkis is just the best.
I forgot he did Gollum, yeah.
Oh man, he is so fucking good. Like the way that he like does the two versions of Gollum, and like again, it's been years since I've seen it, like from when I saw it last time. So like I'm older now, and I'm pretty sure I was like fucking 12, 11, 13, I was a stupid kid, not when I was watching Lord of the Rings, not really understanding Gollum. Like I completely forgot that like Gollum's whole thing is that like he's like conflicted over the fact that there's Gollum and then there's Smeagol, and like Smeagol being like, you know, him before he turned into Gollum, and he has a conversation with himself where he's just like, Smeagol is fighting off Gollum, being like, get away, like Master will take care of us, we're okay now, like you've been through like I think Gollum's gonna be like 400 years old or something like that. He's like, you've been through enough. You've been through, like I have been like outcast, I have been like I've been addicted basically to this ring, and it's like destroyed me. But Frodo, Master cares about me, and I'm okay now. I don't need Gollum anymore to be safe. And then Frodo and Samwise get captured by by humans, and they're like, who the fuck is that? Like, who the fuck is this like weird little creature that's following you around? And they're gonna kill Gollum, and he's just like, oh no, I'm gonna let me go get him. I'll like Frodo's like, let me go down and get him, and he'll be okay.
He's under the bridge, isn't
he? He's like, it's not he's under the bridge. He's like at a waterfall, and he's like, because Gollum's like always attracted to the ring, so he always knows. He always has a sense of where Frodo is. So like, even though Frodo's been brought to this like secret location, Gollum is still able to vibe him out basically. So Gollum's like in this river about to like, he's eating fish, whatever, and all the men are about to fucking snipe him with arrows, and Frodo's like, let me go down and save him, let me go down and capture him, you don't have to kill him. And they're like, yeah, sure. And then Gollum gets fucking nabbed, and they kick the shit out of him, they beat him up, and then he's just like, oh, not even Master turned on me. And then he turns, like Gollum comes back again. Yeah. And it's like, I always thought that Gollum was a scumbag the entire way through. And it's like, oh no, he's not.
Yeah. Doesn't he have like an origin scene where he turned into Gollum?
That's in the third one.
That's in the third.
Yeah, that's in the third one.
I remember that very.
Yeah.
I remember a fish. I remember eating a fish.
Yeah, that's in the third one. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, because I thought it was in this one, and it's not in this one. But I think it's at the start of the third one. Is that you see Gollum's backstory.
Yeah, I remember it was fucked up. I didn't want to watch it when I was.
Yeah, it's real creepy.
Yeah, poor Gollum though.
Poor fucking Gollum, you know. And it's like, I like, because like the conflict of Frodo is that like he feels a lot of sympathy to Gollum, because he's like, I know what it's like to have the ring. I know that like I could become Gollum. And Samwise is just like, Frodo, he's a fucking sniveling little shit. Leave him alone. Frodo's just like, nah, bro, that could be me. And like he starts turning, like Frodo really suffers from the ring in this one. The whole magic of the ring, I don't think I understood when I was a kid, over like what the ring can do and like how it like corrupts your brain and like.
What do you mean?
Like I'm like when I was younger, I think I didn't understand how the ring worked, or like that the ring was like a sentient thing, and that it can corrupt people. Because the whole thing that like in this one, when they're captured by the humans, is that like humans are not strong enough mentally to bear the ring because they're greedy, and they're gonna think that they can use it for good. But it's going to corrupt them because absolute power corrupts absolutely and all that shit. Yeah. So it's like we can't, if we get brought to humans who are like the good guys, we're fucked because they think that they're going to be helping us, but the ring is going to fuck them up, and like Sauron will win, which is something that I didn't pick up when I was a kid. And I think maybe it's not, I'm assuming that's in the theatrical cuts, like that's explored, because like all the extra bits in this film are all the added in bits. A lot of them are just like, again, little moments between the characters that was cut because it's not really needed. Like there's this whole sequence where like Pippin and Merry find basically barrels of weed, and they're like smoking weed, and it's just like they're with them. The big tree people are in this one, and it's just like, oh, we would give it to what the tree guy's called, and he's like, and Mary's like, no. Leaves, he wouldn't like these, we'll just keep them for himself, and your man's like, yeah, no, we'll keep this for ourselves, and they start like just smoking and getting stoned. But it's really like, there's just the complexity of the characters, I think, was lost on me when I was a kid, because I did just think like, oh, the battles are really cool, and the battles are fucking sick.
The orcs,
like Helm, this is the one with Helm's Deep, which is like, it's kind of like a 300 situation, which is like there's 10,000 orcs coming to capture us, but we're in this like super secure location. We just gotta hold them off, and they get fucking slaughtered. But they're able to like survive the night's battle, and then reinforcements come in the morning. But Jesus, like the fights in it, like the huge scale of the fights and stuff like that, is just phenomenal. And again, like the orcs look unreal. All the special effects hold up. It's just bitching.
were the battle sequences, were they kind of practical as well? Was there a lot of
like
was that huge sets?
Like
or was
some
there, like, it was multiplication, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's bits where like it's clearly like CGI or whatever they're using, or like duplicates of like the massive army. But like when there's sets and there's just like battles going on all around them and stuff like that, that's all like practical sets and effects and stuff like that, and it looks sick. It looks so good. It looks so good.
They haven't really been able to duplicate that.
I miss.
Bit weird.
Maybe they don't make films like that. I can't think of the last like epic fantasy film.
Yeah, well, they're kind of like, well, like
they're not in.
Yeah, they're not in. Yeah, but like in that. If they remade it, they'd just do it CGI, wouldn't they? All
yeah,
CGI.
They would. Yeah,
like The Hobbit.
Yeah, The Hobbit. Yeah. The third Hobbit film has a big, massive battle, which is, I think it is just a big. I think the whole thing is more or less just one big, massive battle. It is one of the worst fucking things. It's so bad.
Yeah, The Hobbit's just like
the third Hobbit is so shit.
Irredeemable. Is that the one with the Ed Sheeran soundtrack?
That's the second one.
Second one, yeah.
But it's like, I think the third one starts with the dragon.
Of the three armies, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, that film's so bad. That film's so bad.
The Hobbit.
Yeah.
Stop. Because that's like 20 pages in the book. Like that's not a huge part of the book.
I don't even remember. Like, I remember reading like half the book. I can't even remember like orcs really being a thing in that. But maybe I'm just.
I remember orcs. There was a huge part where they're just in the forest.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get out of the forest, and they run into the bear. That's a huge part of the book.
Yeah.
There is a battle at the end, but it's not really like the focus.
Yeah, because the whole thing of the Hobbit is like, oh, we're facing a dragon, and that's the big bad.
Yeah.
But the start of the third one, the dragon's dead within like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what are we going to do for the next hour and 40 minutes?
Yeah.
Orcs, I've already seen orcs, and it's really bad CG. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fucking white orc.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Looks shit.
Yeah.
And like he's all like CG and like smooth.
Yeah.
But like
But he has scars.
and he has
Like,
scars and
but he clearly showers like every 3 hours
yeah,
or
he's
something
clearly clean.
like that.
But like the orcs in this one are fucking filthy. Like they're gross. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a shame.
It is a shame
Because there is something there.
I'd love if The Hobbit was 2 films. Like the budget of the 3 films into 2, and they were just like, we're not going to do CG, we're going to do practical effects a lot, and just use the budget that way. Because like the budget for The Lord of the Rings was $100 million each.
Yeah, not a lot.
Which
well, that's
isn't-
$2,000, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how.
How's that inflate?
I've no idea.
Can't be double anyway.
Surely not. It can't be double. So
No
like,
way.
they're not even with today's standards. Like, how much does like Marvel films cost? Like they cost like
200 mil.
yeah. So like
That's mad.
yeah.
Even if it is double, then fucking, what was it? Black Widow would have cost, for the CGI in Black Widow. It's like it's kind of comparable to fucking the practical effects in Lord of the Rings. I don't know. Maybe it's an insurance issue.
I'm gonna look this up. See now. I'm gonna look this up and see what the fucking thing is.
What the crack is.
What the crack is. Okay, so between the 27 films, the budget has been $5 billion altogether. So that's 27 films, and altogether they cost $5 billion.
$5 billion. Fuck that. $5 billion.
That's a lot.
You know?
Here we go. MCU films, movies with the biggest budgets, and the ones with 5 with the smallest. So Ant-Man, 130 million.
Is that the smallest?
That's the least. The smallest budget. Ant-Man, 130 million.
It's literally about an ant.
Yeah,
you know?
it's about an Ant-Man. Like most the Avengers. Okay, so how much did the what do you think? Right, how much do you think was which one is the most expensive MCU film?
Which
and
one?
how much did it cost?
Infinity War Part 1, 300 million.
Okay, Endgame, 400 million.
400 mil?
Yeah, 400 million.
400 million. But look at the CGI in Endgame. It's terrible, like.
Age of Ultron is the second most expensive one.
What was that, 300?
365.
365 for Age of Ultron. Like
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Like,
Get on to you cunt.
there's not even a lot of CGI in that, is there? Like, well,
there's like a city falling on top of each other. But
yeah, well, compared to like Endgame or something. Well, compared to like every other film.
That shit robot, bro. The Ultron just cost like 100 billion.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, yeah, that is dire.
Look up.
Look up.
Look up inflation calculator.
Yeah, it's definitely not double anyway. Maybe within the movie universe, but either way, they're messing up anyway. What would you adapt though into a fantasy epic, cinematic fantasy epic? What would be a good candidate?
I'm not into fantasy fiction at all, so I have no
I actually
idea.
hate fantasy.
But all the time I do hate fantasy.
Yeah.
But I'm also not a big sci-fi guy. Maybe I prefer fantasy. Which do you prefer, sci-fi or fantasy?
Sci-fi, definitely. I don't like fantasy at all.
I think I prefer fantasy. I remember Dan saying before, why the fuck would you be into elves when you could literally be into whatever the fuck you could imagine? Like, it doesn't have to be like, you could be like Lovecraft can be sci-fi. I was like, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Fair point. Like fantasy has like racist undertones to it.
Oh yeah. Hugely racist. But it's all make believe.
Okay, so oh, here we go.
Here we go.
$1. Okay, right. So what did I say that was? 100 million.
100 mil.
Fuck, how many zeros is that?
Just put in 100.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, fuck off, pop-ups.
Just put in 100.
No, here we go. Value. Oh, fuck's sake, I need 2 more zeros.
Just put in 100.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
fully
6.
accurate on this podcast.
Calculate. That would be 160. 1 million. Fucking hell.
It's gone in reverse.
1 billion.
1 billion. 1 billion? No way.
1 million is 1,600,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading that wrong.
So 160 mil.
160 mil.
So they cost 320 mil altogether.
Yeah.
Well,
so they
each.
cost the same amount as an Ant-Man.
Yeah.
That's a load of bullshit. That's such bullshit.
Yeah. An Ant-Man. I haven't seen Ant-Man, but
you know Ant-Man isn't as good as Lord of the Rings.
It's an Ant-Man. It's a small fella.
That's a fucking joke. That's a joke.
That is a joke. They have to fix that. But they won't. But they won't.
They never will.
It's all CGI, man.
It's all CGI, bro.
You know?
What'd you think about the CGI crows in Resident Evil Extinction?
I thought they were fairly realistic. I don't... Because it was on 1.5 speed, so it kind of makes everything look better. But I thought they were cool. Resident Evil Extinction, actually, I prefer this to Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Fair.
I preferred it. Because you said you trash-talked this film before we watched it.
It's kind of boring.
It's Mad Max-y to me.
It is.
It's kind of well, that's just the desert, like the tones, the hues.
Well, there's like the convoy of trucks driving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wish
the badass female characters.
Yeah, I wish that we had a Mad Max Fury Roads like esque scene where they're like driving and they're like fighting while they're driving.
Yeah.
Now we do get that in the sixth one. The sixth one returns to the deserts.
That's a long way off.
So in like 3 more hours you'll get that in terms of Resident Evil films.
Oh god. Yeah, this one kind of like, it's more dramatic, isn't it? It's more kind of...
Yeah, it's more character-based.
Character-based, yeah.
It takes itself way more seriously than Apocalypse.
That's true, yeah. It still has that thing you're talking about in the first one, like the fucking crosshatch lasers.
They're really, really proud of that idea.
Yeah. That is a good idea, though. Like, imagine you're, like, doing fucking backflips and, like, gymnastics through all these, like, lasers in, like, some super top-secret facility. And then all of a sudden, they just come out with the crosshatch lasers.
Yeah,
and you're like, it's over.
Oh, you fucker.
It's over.
Yeah.
Like, at least give me a chance. That's good, though.
I forgot that was in this film. I was like, oh, Mark gets to see a slice and dice now.
Yeah, slice and dice, yeah.
Yeah, like, this film... I think one of the things I don't like about this film is the 5-year gap. That, like, because there's 5 years since between Apocalypse and Extinction, or there's like a couple of years. Because I think, like, when they go to Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is like covered in, it's like almost entirely taken over by like the desert. Alice is just like, yeah, it's been like 5 years since someone's been here. So,
yeah, well,
she said something like that.
Don't they explain it? It's like the whole world got taken over by the T virus.
Yeah. But somehow it like also infected the crops and stuff like that.
Yeah, killed the environment somehow. Which is like if all humans died off tomorrow, wouldn't that destroy the environment as well? The environment would go to shit, wouldn't it?
Would it?
I was thinking that. Would it?
I'm pretty sure.
Because we're like the main part of the environment now, aren't we?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that like wasn't that a thing during the first lockdown and stuff like that, like like fish started to return to the seas and stuff like that, like something like that. I'm pretty sure something like that happened.
Maybe things just get better. Yeah, I don't know,
because we're not polluting as much.
Yeah, but then you'd have like breakdown of just like nuclear reactors would like collapse and like fucking all that stuff, you know.
Chernobyl's still covered in life, isn't it?
Is it? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I guess they kind of
they should have used that in the series.
They also covered up Chernobyl. I'm saying that they covered up in Chernobyl, didn't they?
Wait. It's like, oh shit, I just forgot to do
I had a brain for it.
No, they did, yeah.
They
put a big dome over it, concrete dome, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I thought for a second there was like,
wait, lads. Didn't one of us cover that up?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Shit, I left the stove on.
I left Chernobyl open. Fuck.
Yeah, your fridge is running, pal. Oh, yeah, no. I was like, I watched the TV show and I can't remember if they covered that up, but I was like, wait, we're still here.
Yeah, they covered it recently, yeah. Yeah, just quite recently.
But like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I wish there was more. There's no nuclear stuff in the Resident Evil franchise, as far as I'm aware.
Except for the nuke they dropped on Raccoon City.
Yeah, also, yeah, there is a nuke in the second one. Oh, Jesus, fucking dying here. Fading away. Forgetting things. Yeah, I like the way that this is the one, though, that clones come into it.
Yeah, Alice clones. Mm-hmm. I wasn't sure what that was at the start. Where she gets dumped into, like, that kind of sewer pipe.
Yeah.
It's full of, like, dead women. I thought they were just random women.
No, they're all Alice.
All Alice, yeah. And, like, the one we see in the first scene is a clone.
Yeah.
It's not actually her.
I haven't a fucking breeze what they're doing with that experiment.
Like, cloning her?
Yeah.
Well, it's just, like...
They have clones of her, and then she walks into her room, and then she gets shot. But they've done this like hundreds of times. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure what they're experimenting. Like, what are they trying to do?
It's just fun.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just clones.
They're only clones, yeah. Yeah. What are they trying to do?
I have no idea.
What are they expecting her to evolve the ability to see into the future?
I
Because she is
don't know.
telekinetic, isn't she?
Jesus, is she?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. When she's here at the start of the fourth one.
Oh, really?
Oh my god. She gets so powerful at the start of the fourth one that they have to like remove her psychic abilities.
Like the riders do.
Yeah, they're like,
right.
here's a reason she got hit with the antivirus, and that's like cut off her T cells.
Oh, right.
So she's like back to being like regular Alice, because she's like she's like throwing monsters around with her brain in this one and stuff like that.
She's OP.
She's so OP in this film. Yeah, the whole Mad Max vibe. I think that I just like the location of Raccoon City in the second one, and I love the I love the lab in the first one.
Yeah, I prefer the location in this one. This seems more like, I don't know. It's more of a chase anyway. It's more like, I don't know, because like, I don't know, Raccoon City felt very enclosed, which works obviously, especially for a video game.
Yeah,
but it's also not dark and stuff.
Yeah, it's not really well lit. This one's nice and bright.
Yeah, like I like it seems really well shot.
Yeah,
you know? It's well done. You know, but it is way more serious. I think it's less campy, maybe.
Yeah,
less
and
campy.
I like the films being stupid. It's not as stupid as the other ones are. I like as well. I love in Resident Evil films. Like you have like a cast of characters and you can see a million miles where it's like you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, you're fucking definitely dead. It's like you get to live and you get to live because you're named after video game characters.
Yeah. I see Imhotep's in the film.
Who the fuck is that?
Imhotep from The Mummy. Imhotep, The Mummy.
Oh
He's
my
your man.
god, he is.
He's Carlos.
He's in the second one as well. What the fuck?
Is he in the second one?
He's in the second one. He's the ranger that like survives at the end of the second one as well.
I just think the fact that he was in the desert, I was like, that's Imhotep.
Oh my god, Jesus, you're right.
Yeah, but yeah, you know he's good in this. He's a great actor.
He's a good actor.
This is after The Mummy as well.
I like how he dies as well. It's like TJ, you son of a bitch. And he pulls out a joint.
Yeah,
it's like lighting the joint as he's going up in flames. Just the characters. I don't understand that. You know the guy that was like GTA motherfucker in the second one.
Yeah.
He's like bit by a zombie, but in the second one they're just like, yeah, you only have a couple of hours when you're bit. You only have a couple of hours. This dude fought off the T-virus for a solid 2 days.
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. I was like, did you forget that you wrote in the second film that people only have a few hours before they turn? Because he's kicking for a while.
They must have some like the antivirus or something. Is it? I don't know. It seems like a really glaring plot hole.
Yeah, I think it is just a plot hole.
I don't know. They needed a bit of
why
cheese.
he didn't tell anyone as well. It's like, you know what's going to happen, you fucking dickhead.
Yeah. God bless him.
God bless him. He got absolutely annihilated by his mate as well. But yeah, when did you see... Because you know the guy with the sunglasses in the boardroom?
Yeah.
Because that guy is played by a different guy in the fourth and fifth and the sixth ones.
Yeah, is they all the same character?
Yeah, he's meant to be the same character.
Why is he changed person?
Because I assume that like this guy is shit.
He was shit.
He was
He's so bad.
He's so bad.
I was wondering because everyone else is very solid, and then there's just this guy is like a community play, kind of like fucking just walked in. It's like, do you want to do this? He's even the sunglasses as well. It's like something off Hardy books or something.
He looks shit.
He just walks in.
Yeah, the guy in the fourth film looks different as well, and he's like way more into it, I guess.
Yeah, your man Isaacs, he was good.
Yeah, he's good.
As what's his name? He becomes Tyrant.
Is that what he becomes?
Yeah, the monster at the end.
Is that what it's called? Tyrant. Yeah, he's good. I think, was he in the second film? No, wait, there's a different evil scientist in the second film. He was at the end of the second one, though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he's good. He is good.
He's actually good. Oh, he's in loads of films.
Yeah, I've definitely seen him in something else as well. He comes back into it in the sixth one.
Oh, your man's Irish.
Is he?
Yeah. From the guy with the glasses.
From the guy with the glasses?
The guy in the boardroom with the glasses.
Oh, sorry. This is about
no,
Dr. Isaac.
Not Isaac, no.
Yeah.
No, the shit actor is Irish.
God damn it.
Jason O'Mara.
Oh, Jesus.
He's from Sandy Cove.
Jesus, he really is Irish. Jason O'Mara.
He's from Sandy Cove.
Hell.
He's from Sandy Cove.
Yeah,
that says it all.
He was a bad Wesker.
Yeah.
Poor casting, but Wait to see the guy that they get in the next one.
We'll see.
Wait to see. It's just ridiculous. I can't wait for you to see the sunglasses fight. It is one of the greatest things. Put the cinema. It's not this. I think this one wasn't directed by Paul W.S. Anderson.
No.
I think the fifth one is when he comes back. I think, which is why this film isn't stupid. I think it's because Paul W.S. Anderson isn't the director.
Yeah, Russell Mulcahy did it.
Yeah, is he Irish as well?
No.
Mulcahy?
No, he's not. He's Australian. Basically Irish.
Close enough.
Yeah.
we'll claim him.
Okay.
Yeah, do you want to go for a break?
Yes, go for a break.
Sick.
And now, moving on to our recommended film of the week. F for Fake by Orson Welles. 1973 film by the great Orson Welles.
He directed Kane, didn't he?
Yeah, he did all them mad films. Kane and... yeah.
Don't know what else he's done.
He didn't do much else, really. Yeah, but this is F for Fake. Orson Welles' final film documents the life of infamous fakers Elmire Dehori and Clifford Irving. Dehori, who later committed suicide to avoid prison time, made his name by selling forged works of art by painters like Picasso and Matisse. Irving was famous for writing a fake autobiography of Howard Hughes. Welles moves between documentary and fiction as he examines the fundamental elements of fraud and the people who commit fraud at the expense of others. So, this is not a very conventional film, not a usual film that we recommend. Because there's no real plot. Because it's more of a documentary.
And even at that, it's not a typical documentary.
Yeah, apparently when he was making it, Welles envisioned it as he was asked what it was. And different people were like, this new documentary you're shooting. Apparently he didn't consider it a documentary or obviously a narrative, really. He considered it an entirely new kind of film. In terms of a film essay that is sort of interactive. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with him because it's not really a documentary.
Yeah, because it could be. The first hour is a film essay.
Yeah.
It's a documentary. No, yeah, the first hour is a documentary. But then it's not just, there's the other, the rest of the film.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's bits and pieces in between. And the kind of framing and the presentation is clearly not all true.
Yeah.
And that's the point of the film. It's about fakery and about authenticity.
Yeah.
And what that means in art. So it's kind of like a work of art in itself. It's something that you have to approach knowing that it can't possibly represent truly what it claims to be doing,
Yeah, and I appreciate that because that's kind of a problem with documentaries. Is this is, we are to take the documentaries I was talking about earlier about folk horror and stuff like that. It constructs a line, a history line that which is history in itself is a way that we narrativize basically the past. It's a narrative that we put onto the past to make it make sense, to make time make sense. But that's not real. That's not a real thing that happens, and art doesn't really work that way either. The progression of art. So F for Fake is admitting in and of itself that this isn't real, and the narrative that we're telling here isn't reality either. But does that really matter?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going for something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a weird one, because it's authenticity. Yeah, it's questions of authenticity. What is real, in a documentary sense, but also in terms of what, that painting, this is not a pipe.
Yeah.
This isn't a pipe. It's just a representation of a pipe. It can't be real. It's a representation. It's a layering over reality. And it can't ever be more than that. But it applies to pretty much every work of art.
Mm-hmm.
Was it post-structuralism or something? I think it is.
Yeah. Or structuralism. I can't remember which one it is.
Anyway.
Which one of them?
Free structuralism. But yeah, it's kind of like Herzog's approach to documentary, which we've touched on before. Kind of what was his word for it? He had a manifesto. Kind of ecstatic truth, I think was his term.
That's it, yeah.
Ecstatic truth. So he does loads of documentaries, and his approach was kind of the opposite of something where you think in the documentaries, you're thinking David Attenborough commentating over like a fucking lemur chewing a leaf, and you're like, oh, the lemur is chewing the leaf.
Yeah.
Is it really chewing the leaf though, David? You know, it's like
yeah.
Well, like it's
like I think the best example of that is that really famous clip of the lizard running away from all the snakes that was in like Planet Earth 2, whatever, which one it was, and like it's like that's like a perfect encapsulation of like what we do with documentaries, where like in that microcosm of Planet Earth 2, it's like there's the good guy and the snakes are all the bad guys, and like we're rooting for, you always root for the prey to get away and stuff like that. Like that's the good guy, and like the things trying to kill it are the villains. But that's not how nature works.
Yeah, there's no villain, man.
There's no villain in nature.
Yeah, it's all like recombination, just the way it is, you know. But yeah, like Herzog's approach would be, or like the opposite of the realist approach, where he's not trying to like portray, he's not trying to stand back and being like the objective sort of documentarian, just sort of laying it out, or pretending anyway to lay out the truth as it is.
Mm-hmm.
His approach is to get involved actively with the story, like something like Grizzly Man, where he's there. It's like the perfect example is the scene in
The
Grizzly.
white elephant.
Yeah, this perfect encapsulation of what we're talking about is the scene in Herzog's Grizzly Man, where he listens to the last moments of the Grizzly Man as he's dying. Like he's literally in the film, interacting with like sort of the with your man's mother, and listening to the subject's last moments, and he's the entire time he's giving feedback to the camera. He's like in the story, and he's like there's no real sort of pretensions about being like, this is, you know, he's not trying to moralize it. He's just like telling a story, and he's not saying this is like perfect reality. This is just the story as he understands it, and as he's trying to share with the audience.
And within that, it isn't the truth, but there is a truth within that.
Yeah. It's just like a fabulized kind of truth, you know, which is even more true than just, you know, trying to be like as objective as possible, like pretending to be non-biased.
Yeah,
when you're not.
Yeah, it's just like admit the
but
fact.
you can't be.
Yeah, like objectivity isn't real. Like that's not a thing.
Yeah.
If you're creating a documentary, you're coming from it from a subjective point of view.
Yeah, and it's better to sort of concede to that and be more playful about it, than to be just really cold and sterile and sort of like a, I don't know how you'd put it, just like like hyper realism. Yeah,
because I would say that like Orson Welles is very, I think he seems to really like the two guys that the film's about, Elmer or the other guys. He seems to like he
gets on with them anyway. They're good crack.
He gets on with them, but like he doesn't villainize them or anything like that. But like if this was a true crime documentary about this guy that made forgeries, he'd be portrayed as this like master villain that like fucking stole basically from other people. But like but like you can kind of tell that he is a bit of a scumbag because he's you know, he makes forgeries and stuff like that. But it's also kind of gas that he did that, because in doing this he kind of exposes that like the art world is a load of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, there's a huge element in the film of like the commodification of art
and even art criticism.
Yeah, like the sort of boundaries between experts and or so-called experts and like the artists themselves, and like, or experts and fakers on one side, and then like the artists, and like what does it mean? Like what's the difference between them? You know, like the whole subject of the documentary is your man Elmir. He was like some fucking random guy, like some Hungarian refugee who was apparently like living, you know, paycheck to paycheck in the slums, and like emigrated to America, and the only way he could get by was by selling forgeries of like famous artwork or famous works by famous artists, and that's how he got by. But at the same time, it's not like, it doesn't cast him as this you know, this madcap villain who somehow managed to scam the world. It's like it really like labors on the point of the fact that he couldn't have gotten away with it if not for the collusion of the people who bought it like off him. And it even it addresses it at one point, because throughout the entire film and leading up to the end of his life, like the reason he committed suicide was because the French authorities who've been after him for ages, trying to get him for fraud charges. They eventually signed an extradition treaty with Spain. Like Franco was Spain. I think Franco had just fallen and or just died, and eventually they got they got permission to extradite your man Elmir, so he committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason they couldn't do that before was because they didn't have a really solid case, because no one would testify against him.
Because you need to have evidence that he painted these paintings and that he signed them, and no one was going to do that.
Yeah, no one was there to do it, and there's no one really to testify against him, because to do that would put their own investments in jeopardy, and their own reputation.
Because the only people that saw it were, I think it was like one point was like major, huge art dealers were a part of this.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. And they didn't want to know if it was fake or not.
Yeah.
Because like I think a lot of his fakes are still out there in like different collections.
Well, he literally said like, if you knew all the fakes that I make, like major museums would have to destroy the works of art that they have.
Yeah, entire collections and stuff.
Because it's like none of it is real.
yeah. And you have to applaud the guy. Like he's not the villain, clearly. Who's the victim here? Like, rich art dealers?
Yeah, rich art dealers.
Fuck them. Fuck them, you know? And the guy's clearly very, very talented. The fact that he can reproduce these great works of art, and people, you know, supposed experts, whatever about that, they can't tell really the difference. Like, the guy's clearly very talented, but he's just being like forced into, through his conditions, he's just been forced into this kind of like slummy way to get by.
Yeah.
And I think those are like the main questions of what Orson Welles is talking about in the first hour.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what is art? You know, what's the point of having experts? Like, or why is this expert class kind of come about? And what differentiates an Elmir fake from like an authentic Picasso and stuff like that. And his presentation is very like the film is actually like hugely like not panned. It was very, very mixed reception, like polarized reception, I'd say. Where at the time when it came out, it was like, oh, the people praising it, saying, oh, this is like groundbreaking or whatever, and then there's people going, this is fucking pretentious bullshit, like this is the most pretentious film I've ever, and it is, it's extremely pretentious, but
it's also kind of, it's aware of the fact that it's pretentious.
Oh man, yeah, like he's like winking at the camera. He has a fucking fedora on.
He's smoking a cigar, like he very clearly knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
He's like, I'm Orson Welles. I can do what I want.
Yeah, I'm Orson Welles. I made Citizen Kane. Like, I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And I had this documentary where I'm talking about fakes and forgeries and all this type of shit. And it's the entire thing is this criticism of the art world and authenticity. All these like really pretentious topics. And he's having a fedora, smoking his cigar. He's in the field while he's talking about Picasso and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He has his girlfriends in the film, being like she's. Like
being ogled by
ogled, like he's literally like, look how hot my girlfriend is. And it's just like, Orson, you know, like
Orson, you dog.
And he's like winking at the cameras. He said like he knows that this is bullshit.
yeah. But that's F for fake. The whole project is fake
like,
in its own way. Yeah. Yeah, it's all fake. It's all inauthentic. Like, it's not truly real. But that doesn't, you know, take away from it really, because it's just a film. And
even like, I think like the start of the film like very clearly pans it out, where it's just like Orson Welles is being a magician for this kid, and he's just like, it's all sleight of hand, like there's no real magic here, like it's all trickery. And then like you see the cameras and stuff like that are like the documentary cameras are being shown, the set is being moved behind him and stuff like that. Like, he's literally like, this is like, it's literally like the bit in Mulholland Drive was like, this is all an illusion.
Or Holy Mountain, yeah.
This is all fake. I'm constructing something here and I'm tricking you. And that's also films in general, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's like, films in general aren't, they trick you to make you feel certain ways, you know what I mean? And like, if you watch a film and you're sad, does that, or if you're happy or whatever, does that negate, like, because the film isn't reality, the film isn't real, but that doesn't diminish the emotional response that you had to that. I remember, okay, right, Joe Rogan is in hot water at the moment, right? Joe Rogan's in hot water at the moment over his fucking vaccine bullshit, whatever. However, Joe Rogan once said a really good thing before, where he was talking about the difference between someone that like an angel, like Gabriel came down to them and talked to them, right? So like, what is the difference between someone that was like on acid, having a trip, on heroin, whatever, had this mad trip, or the like an angel came down and spoke to me and told me something, and their life changed from that point. What is the difference between someone that had a drug experience where that happened and they believed it to be real, and it actually happening to them where an angel came down and spoke? What is the difference between those two experiences?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter because the end result is still the same, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then, but you have, like, the class of people, you know, kind of the, I don't know, the bedwetters or whatever, like the adjudicators, like the art experts in this film, and then, you know, maybe, like, I don't know, scientists in the Joe Rogan's case were like, nah, that's not, you know, they just kind of, like, pick holes in it, but it's all kind of based on institutional knowledge, or it, like, sort of like frozen kind of dead knowledge. It's not something that's like you can actively play with. Like art, I think it's a quote in the film: "Art is a lie which illuminates the truth."
Yes,
I think that's what Orson Welles says. And that's like that's like the thesis of the film. Like the art is a lie. It's not real, but it's something that you can. And it's like Herzog's exact point as well. It's something that like sort of invites you in a creative sense to sort of find the truth, or to you know, it points you in the right direction. Yeah, you know, it's not about this is exactly how it happened. This is exactly true. These are the facts. It's like, there are no facts. There are no facts in this day and age. Yeah. Read McLuhan, man. There's no facts. All news is fake. But it has a great like backstory as well about like because obviously you have Elmire, the like it is all true as well about him as the sort of like
I am watching this like, how did this guy get away with this?
Yeah, I was like, is this actually true? And it actually was. Elmire, he actually got away with all that stuff.
I guess it also helps the fact that it is such a fantastical story.
Yeah.
Like the truth is fucking ridiculous as well.
Yeah, you'd almost not believe it.
Yeah,
but it did actually happen. And then they had and like the sort of the undercurrent to that, like the B plot, is the fact that his biographer, Elmire's biographer, Clifford Irving, was convicted, I think the year it came out, for creating a fake biography, an unauthorized biography of Howard Hughes. So the guy who was covering a faker ended up being a fake, and then Orson Welles made a fake film about, you know, it's like there's different layers, you know, so many layers.
It's watertight, like it's so many layers.
Yeah, and then Orson Welles like incriminates himself, talking about like how he's a complete fraud, complete fake as well.
Like the most famous thing he ever, well, besides Citizen Kane, is the War of the Worlds incident.
Yeah.
Which was fake,
completely fraudulent.
Completely fake. Like people believed it to be real, you know, and that's all that mattered.
It's an experience for them.
Didn't matter if it was real or not. They believed it to be real. And that's all that mattered.
Even the fact that we know what it is, we know it was fake, it's still real in a way, because it tells you something about people and about like the time, and like, I don't know,
the sense of panic of the time.
It says something anyway, even if it isn't. It was obviously all fake. And then he goes on to tell the story of how he actually got into acting as well, which it's probably a fake story as well.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe it. But basically, his story was he went to Ireland. He came to Ireland, which is great. Like when I heard him say Ireland, I was like, it's like you know.
I thought for a second I heard him wrong. I was like, did he say Ireland? And he's like, and then I went to Dublin. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He came to Ireland when he was 16, and he did a tour of the country apparently, and he did an Elmire basically. The only way he could get by was like staying with farmers and selling them, or no, giving them his paintings in return for food and like sort of like shelter and stuff like that. And then he got to Dublin, and what is true that he did get to Dublin when he was 18, and he started acting at the Gate Theatre, like at the top of Parnell Street.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's mad. It is absolutely mad. Or at the top of O'Connell Street. But he started working there, and his story in the film, as he tells it, is he walked in, and he claimed to be a famous actor from New York, and that he'd been on Broadway, and that he was like a big thing over stateside, and they're like, like get on board, like let's get you in here, you know, and that's how he started acting. And it is true that he started there, but like how much of the story that he told it was true, it doesn't really matter, because it's a good story, and it tells you something about him, and tells you something about the time, and it's just a good story, you know. It illuminates the truth to some extent.
Like we all do that. Where like we tell a story and we kind of exaggerate certain points of the story.
That's the best part,
because like it's in order to make it funny and stuff like that, you know. Like I think Irish people do that all the fucking time.
But that's what people like. You know, people don't care, you know. The people listening
that doesn't matter.
Like, that doesn't matter. They're not like, it doesn't matter if it's funny. It works. If it gets an emotion out of you, if it works as a story, it doesn't really matter, you know. Unless you're completely making things up and like hurting people or whatever.
Yeah, besides that point. Yeah, some people went too far with that. Yeah, I like and even the fact that like he tells you the opening of the film is like because the film is like 90 minutes long, and Orson Welles is like, for an hour of this film, I'm going to tell you the truth.
And you're like, hold on a second.
Wait, what about the other 30 minutes, 20 minutes that are in this film? And then, you know, he tells like a bullshit story about Picasso. And it's a great story.
It is.
And it's like, it is like, you're like, this can't be real. But the story of Elmer is so fucking ridiculous and is more or less true. It's like, maybe this is real as well. And then he's like, for the last 20 minutes, I've been lying to you about that story about Picasso.
Yeah, he's like, I've been lying my hat off. It's like, we know you have a hat. We can see the hat.
We can see the hat.
Yeah.
But it is like such a great story that like...
It's told really like well visually as well. You like they had the photos of Picasso and then like the blinds out. It's like, it's like avant-garde almost. This guy's like, this guy's in his dying days. Well, the last decade of his life. And he's already done everything. Like, he's made the greatest films of all time. He doesn't need to do anything else.
He has made the greatest film of all time.
Yeah.
Which even he seems to think is a lot of bullshit.
The guy, like, he's like a, you know, I don't know, like absolute legend, you know? Like the fact that he still was like pushing the envelope to that extent, you know, towards the end of his life, even though he kind of been outcast by Hollywood, like decades before as well. He kept going.
He's mad.
You have to respect him.
You have to respect the hustle.
The hustle.
The hustle.
Starting at the gate and making it all the way to the top. My God.
I think that's one of the things that he says as well, where he's just like, I started at the top and I had to work my way down.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a great description. He's like, my first film was described as the best film ever made. And now I have to work my way down.
Yeah, he was 26, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking mad. Yeah. And he did that just after the fucking, War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
And that's only after recently starting acting. It's like, this guy.
It's like, I peaked too soon.
Yeah. But you can tell because he has like different shots in or different sequences where he's like relaying the story. He does this weird thing where he's telling the story by like just putting on the accent of the person he's talking about. And then
Hungarian accent.
Yeah, but he doesn't have like intercut. He just like he's doing two voices, and then sometimes it's his voice as well. And he's like trying to tell us. It's really confusing, but like he's like a dinner table or whatever. And you could tell this guy would have been amazing to have points with, you know.
Oh my God!
Everyone's just hanging on his word. He just knows how to tell his story, and like that's the whole thing because it's all, you know. Obviously, it's not fully authentic because he's literally just putting on the voices, and then there's different parts in the film where, remember the part where it's like Elmire and Clifford. And
yeah,
it's like it's kind of there's like no dialogue. It's just them like
because like that's,
blank faces.
Yeah, because it's just edited to make it seem like it's all in one. It was all in one place, but like it wasn't.
Yeah, it's edited to make it seem like there's like an awkward silence and you're waiting for one to say something. But it's just the editing and the way that they've. It's kind of it's like pulling back the curtain again, just like showing the editing process and like how the fact that they're trying to tell the story at all means that they basically abdicated like any real like authenticity. Like you can't be in the room with them. There is no room where they're actually together. You know, it's all fake. Yeah,
because like multiple times. Because like I think that if you weren't fully paying attention to the film, you think that they were like it was just two dudes having a conversation, but they weren't. Those scenes weren't. I read this on Wikipedia. Those scenes weren't shot at the same time. Like those fellas were in a room by themselves.
Yeah.
But Orson Welles edited to make it seem like they were in the same room. But then he basically shows you like it's not real because of this minute-long silence that's between them. And it's like, this isn't. I have constructed this. This like this reality, I guess, or whatever. You know,
sleight of hand. Yeah, he's a magician.
Yeah, I completely forgot that he did War of the Worlds until this documentary. Because he was like, oh yeah, when I did War of the Worlds, it's like, oh my God, yeah, he did. I forgot about that. Even the fact that like Citizen Kane is a fake Howard Hughes story. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's loosely based off Howard Hughes.
Yeah. It's like a fake biography of Howard Hughes.
It's a fake biography of Howard Hughes.
This film is about a guy who gets sent to prison. He went to prison for 2 years because he made a fake autobiography of Howard Hughes.
Like Like if Citizen Kane was called Citizen Hughes, you know what I mean? He'd be in hot water.
Yeah. It's like like the film rhymes, and it's just like it's mad poetic in that way, because you can just make those connections, and like that's the way all like art works. You know, just like making random connections. But like Orson Welles, like obviously living a mad life where there's just so many things to connect, and like it just shows up in the film. It's just like the film is like it's only 9 minutes long, but it feels like you can't really like not pay attention to it. You know, there's a lot going on.
Lashes information at you so quickly, like to the point where like these are like bits. Like I understood the general thing. A lot of this film I completely missed because it just lashes information at you super quickly. Like when I was taking notes, I took very few notes while watching this film because I was like, oh, I have to keep watching this because if I don't pay attention, I'm gonna be lost. Yeah.
I didn't. The last 30 minutes, I didn't fully get what was going on. To be honest, I didn't really get it, and I thought there'd be more to it. But is it just that like that's a fake story?
I think it's just a fake story, and it's in a documentary.
Yeah,
and it's like this isn't like this story is fake. Just like making a documentary about something is a fake story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, you ever see that like show Fact or Faked, where it's like they tell a story and then at the end there's like a presenter and he comes on and he looks like Orson Welles, and he's like by a fire and stuff, and he's like well, what do you think of that one? And then he reveals whether it was true or not. And he's like, oh no, we faked that one. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
You ever see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
It literally, I thought. It looks the exact same as like the last half an hour of this film. He's like, I just made that up.
Yeah.
Well, like it's just Orson Welles. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah.
You know if you saw it, but like
it
was that kind of format. I was like, it seems mad simplistic, you know. So I wasn't sure.
I think that is what he's going for, especially because like you want that Picasso story to be real because it's such a good story. You know. Yeah. I think you're
horny Picasso, yeah.
Horny Picasso just lashed one out in front of this girl, painting paintings of her. I think it's like one of those things where like you really want. It's like that what's that thing called? Cognitive bias, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like you want this thing to be true, so therefore it is true, and you will get information to make it true. That type of thing. It's like, oh, well, I watched this documentary where Picasso had this thing, and it was a documentary, so it has to be real.
Yeah, might as well go around pretending that's true. Yeah, tell it as a story. Everyone's like, this fucking pretentious cunt.
It's like I saw this in a documentary.
Yeah.
I can tell you what the name of the documentary was, but
F for fake. Yeah, it doesn't matter what. I actually forget the name of it.
Yeah, it's really, really good film. Really good film. I think it is an acquired taste. Yeah,
definitely, yeah.
Because it is like, it's all over the place.
It's also really cheesy. It's just like, the man's walking around in fedora. Like, it's like, look how hot my girlfriend is. I just made that up. It's like, she was so hot, Pablo Picasso painted 22 paintings just for her, man. And then, but like, it's very on brand though, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you don't know who he is. Like, you can tell. That's the kind of guy he is. It is enjoyable in that way, you know? It
is, yeah. Wells just seems like such a character.
Seems like a lad, like.
As you said, like, you would fucking love to have a pint with him.
Yeah, the stories.
The stories he would tell.
The stories he'd have.
Because even like that bit where like he's sitting around in the restaurant with his mates, and they're all just telling stories or whatever, and he's there talking, he's there with a cigar, and he's like, oh, now bring me the steak and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You're just like, I want to sit there, and I do want to be in the room with you when you're just talking shit. Like,
yeah. So man.
Get him on the Joe Rogan.
We'll get him on here.
Yeah, we'll get him on here.
Call him out. Orson, we're asking for you.
You know? Orson_Wells. We'll get on the Paro pod.
Yeah. Get on to the lads at the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because like, it definitely wasn't what I was expecting, because I heard about this thing, but I know, like, hearing about something and then experiencing that is two different things.
Yeah.
Just like art itself.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. You know? Art, the lie which illuminates the truth.
We move on to the news section.
We'll move on to there's quite a bit of news.
Yeah, we got one big topic. One big news.
We're cancelling Josh Whedon.
Yeah, we're now going to hop on the bandwagon of cancelling Josh Whedon, because
we cancelled him before.
We've always said he's a dickhead.
We've never had a good word to say about that guy.
Yeah, I remember watching Dollhouse when I was younger, thinking that was really good, and now I'm old. I'm like, it's on Disney Plus, And I was like looking at it, I was like,
shit.
oh, I say that's really bad now. I say it was always bad, but like, I say it's really, really weird because I saw a tweet or something that like he is like a king thing for him as well. It's like his fantasy
To do what?
to have a woman that's a blank slate and he can just put whatever personality he wants onto her.
Disgusting
Yeah.
pedophile.
What a pedo!
What
See,
an evil man.
You want the child, is what you're saying.
Yeah. My God.
You want pure innocence.
He did do he did Toy Story.
Did he?
He did Toy Story 1.
Okay, he's done one good
He
thing.
was a co-writer.
Doesn't count.
He didn't do anything.
Doesn't count.
Didn't do anything.
Doesn't count. He wrote one line.
Probably, yeah. He did Alien Resurrection.
There we go. That's really bad. That film is
shit,
fucking awful.
Cabin in the Woods is pretty good. It's alright.
It's alright.
Yeah. But that's it. That is not that, like there's nothing else.
His TV shows, Firefly, there's a reason why that got cancelled.
Firefly. Yeah, all that stuff. Like
Buffy.
Even Buffy failed. Buffy was a film and that bombed and no one liked it. And then they're like, this guy's dad. I know this guy's dad. Let's give him a TV series.
Mm-hmm.
It's like any other person, their career would be finished.
I say Buffy.
Finished.
Buffy is beloved despite Joss Whedon.
yeah. Like I don't know much about Buffy, but
I've never seen Buffy.
apparently it's alright.
Apparently it is alright, but I'm gonna
It's
say
pretty alright in the way like
I'm gonna
a
say
lot of
it's
things are
because of what's her name? Michelle.
Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah-
She already
Sarah.
called him out as a pedophile.
Yeah.
To be fair. Or as like a weirdo anyway. She didn't say, but she says he's a fucking weirdo. She's like distanced himself from
I'm
him.
pretty sure I'm pretty sure the entire cast were just like, he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
The entire Justice League crew were like, he's a piece of shit.
He's evil.
He's just a cunt. Like,
Yeah. Like there's too many people like that.
But he's back in the news at the moment because he decided to speak out and talk about all the controversies that were coming out to him last year with Ray Fisher, who was Cyborg, being like, Joss Whedon's a fucking piece of shit. And
Fair play to him.
fair play to him.
Because no one else had the balls.
Yeah,
to
no one
talk
else
about
was
it.
doing it. And then he did it. And then a flurry of other stories came out. And Joss Whedon's a fucking piece of shit. And he decided to open his mouth and then talk about it and just confirm that he is a fucking piece of shit.
He's mad. He's absolutely mad. Yeah, I saw one story about how he, when they're doing Buffy, he was the showrunner or whatever. So they had different people write it and he'd oversee it. And one of the women writers wrote a script. And then he brought everyone together, got them in a big room, and read out the script, did like, funny voices reading it, like mocking her. And she was in tears the entire time.
Yeah,
and everyone was like really uncomfortable.
Yeah, he did. Apparently, it was like he did it as if it was a lecture on bad writing, but it was one of the women's scripts, and it's like
A lecture on bad writing. It's like, you're
Joss Whedon,
you're
you
Joss
can't say
Whedon.
fucking anything.
You're Joss Whedon, man. You're Joss Whedon. He's a terrible writer. He's a terrible
I hate
writer.
quips. I hate quips because of him.
He can't write.
Did you see that thing that he wrote about, like, about Ultron?
No.
Where he's just like, Ultron is a cursed what the fuck was it? It was something like
Ultron's neurodivergent or something.
he's like, Ultron is a genius, and like,
Oh yeah, he wants to be Ultron. He thinks he's Ultron.
He thinks he is Ultron. He's like,
Yeah.
he's an evil genius that people despise, but like, he is like, he has some merit or whatever, and that's me. I was like, what is wrong with you?
he just said everyone hates him.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, I'm a genius. I'm a genius.
yeah,
But the people hate me. People keep trying to tear me down.
yeah, the haters
He
hate him.
also said something that like it's ironic that like at the start of my career and stuff like that, it was the internet that pulled me up, and now it's the internet dragging me back down. And it's like, yep, because 2000s culture was the fucking worst, and it appreciated and loved like men like you. And now, buddy, you're in the wave where like the internet has gotten woke and has become more feminist and stuff like that, and now cunts like you are getting teared down.
Should never been put up in the first place.
Yeah.
The people who like us though,
4chaners.
it's not even. It's just weirdos. You know? Do you know anyone who actually likes anything he's done? I don't know anyone.
I don't know anyone. I feel like, well, people like Avengers. Like
Yeah,
the first
but like-
Avengers movie. But
like,
that's despite Joss Whedon.
We could have directed that.
Mm-hmm.
A dog could have directed the
Yeah.
Avengers. You know?
And people would have liked it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like no one directed the Avengers. It was fucking pieced together, on an assembly line. It was a robot film.
Yeah.
Anyone could direct it.
I think that I think it's funny that like Joss Whedon wants to see himself as like a great auteur and stuff like that,
Mm.
and like Zack Snyder.
He's shit as well.
He's shit as well, but he's shit. But apparently, he's Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder seems like he's a good dude,
Yeah,
and he seems like a nice guy. Doesn't make good films that I like, but I like the fact that Joss Whedon's like, oh, I'll take your film and I'll make it better, whatever, with Justice League because he had a family tragedy. And cut out a bunch of shit because like, this doesn't work, this is shit, all this gone. And then it came out and people fucking hated it. And then Zack Snyder made his 4-hour film and people liked it. People loved it.
People like it.
People liked it a lot more than the original Justice League.
Yeah.
So how does it make you feel, Joss, that your 2.5 hour IMAX extravaganza wasn't as good as Zack Snyder's 4-hour long 1-for-1 aspect ratio film?
Yeah, my God. Yeah, that was low, man. You're finished.
You're done. There's no coming back from that.
Maybe that's why like people felt they could come out against him because he's down.
He's
down. Like they might as well kick him in the teeth. You know, like this could be the finishing blow. You know,
yeah. Please, God, that story where like the pregnant woman on set. Did you hear about that? He took the piss out of her for being pregnant and stuff like that. He got really angry at her for being pregnant or something like that. I can't remember the specifics of it, but it's like, you're a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. He did an interview where he admitted to killing a kid when he was 4.
Yeah.
He killed a child when he was 4, you know? And the interview was obviously about him, you know? He's like, yeah, my parents were really, really bad, you know? It's like, that's not your parents' fault, man. You killed someone when you were 4 years old. You know? Look that up. It's insane. I couldn't believe that. Well, he didn't kill them, but like, it was his fault.
Yeah. Yeah, bullying, gaslighting, girl bossing to the max.
Killing children, you know?
Child killer.
He's a girl boss, yeah.
Oh, God. I feel like he thinks that he's like, you know, the Tyler Durdens. He's the type of guy that's like Patrick Bateman. I get that character.
He's the
Tyler
Joker.
Bateman. He's the Joker. Yeah,
he's the screenwriting Joker.
Yeah, he's just one of those type of film bros. He's a film bro.
Yeah, except film bros don't even like him.
Yeah. He's a film bro that got power.
Yeah, and lost.
Good.
The fallen angel, one could say.
God, fucking Joss Whedon's the worst. God.
Yeah, well, thankfully we won't have to hear from him again.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
He can make a comeback.
Hopefully Ray Fisher comes out again and just destroys him the second time.
Well, hopefully he starts doing that Kevin Spacey thing where he does like, you know, really creepy, kind of vaguely threatening videos every year.
Did you hear what Kevin Spacey's next role is going to be?
Is he back?
He's doing some film with some director, like mad indie film, whatever it is, something like that. But his role is, I can't remember specifically what it is, but it's basically a detective trying to catch like a child predator.
Oh man, it's so on the nose. It's so obvious what you're doing. You know, that's not me. I'm the other guy. I'm the good guy.
I'm the guy trying to stop the child predator. It's like, are you fucking serious?
There's no like that must be like an independent. Like he must be funding that himself or something.
Yeah, I think he's a producer on it, and the director is also like a
pedophile,
a scumbag as well.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's just all like it's all the cancelled people just in one film. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's just everyone. Oh fucking hell.
It's like Donald Trump is like funding it.
Yeah, Ansel Elgort's like it's gonna be like the child in it. Oh god.
See, he missed his he's supposed to put one out every year on like a certain day, and he missed it this year, I think.
Who?
Spacey.
He
did one every year for.
I don't think I've ever seen these videos.
No,
I don't think so.
It's where he plays Frank Underwood, and he's like, "Oh, don't write me off."
Oh no!
You know? Do you remember that? No, I'll show you.
That's so creepy.
He does like that southern drawl. He's just pretending to be the actor.
Frank Underwood is like
he's the villain.
Yeah, he's the villain.
Man, he's the villain in the show. Like
yeah. I guess I was like, when's he ever played the good guy? The one time he played the quote-unquote good guy is American Beauty, but in that you're a pedophile. Yeah.
Yeah, so he didn't have like a great kind of like to fucking
pull
from.
I'll do the one from 7. Oh shit, I can't do the one from 7. I'll do use a suspect. Oh shit, I'm a giant liar in that one as well.
Yeah, he's kind of ran himself into a keyhole.
Oh, that's so funny.
But yeah, a lot of weird guys out there.
Too many. Too many.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. Too many.
Too many.
Hot take. I know.
Put a stop to all this. Says I.
To all this nonsense.
Exactly.
We'll be going to some listener questions.
Well, on some listener questions. Yeah.
Going to something lighter.
Yeah.
If you want to ask us a question, you can hit us up at Paro_pod on Twitter or on Instagram. Make sure to follow us there. Or you can ask us via email theparopod@gmail.com. We got a series of questions coming in from Johnny Frakes, new listener to the podcast, and he's asking us,
have you ever walked out of a mall into a huge parking area and realized you'd forgotten where you parked your car?
Well, unfortunately, Johnny, I don't think either of us drive, so we've never experienced that before.
Yeah, I've never done that.
No.
Yeah,
Has your mom ever done that?
No.
No.
Has yours?
No. My dad probably has. My dad 100% has.
I feel like it has happened, but like just kind of, it's not as traumatic
Yeah.
enough for me to remember.
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever gotten lost in the supermarket?
Yeah, loads.
Yeah, I remember.
I used to have really bad sense of direction.
I got lost in Omni before. When I was
In
little
Omni?
kid. Yeah, in Omni. I lost my mom. I was like, ah. I went to the secure. I think I was like standing around, looking around, and some woman came up to me and was like, "You all right?" And I was like, "I lost my mom," and she was like, "Okay, come with me."
Come with me.
Come with me, and I was never seen again. The woman that I call mom now is nice.
Yeah, you're abducted.
How superstitious are you?
How superstitious are you?
Nah, a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit
Little bit.
superstitious.
Like when I watch Liverpool, maybe I wouldn't. I'd be very superstitious in the way that I feel like when I watch too closely, they'll lose. They will concede a goal. And usually that actually does happen. It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Obviously, there is no correlation. I don't believe that there is a correlation, but at the same time, I feel like there is.
I feel like a lot of sports fans do stuff like that. They have a
Yeah.
ritual before they
Yeah. Well,
watch a game or
it goes
whatever.
back to 2007 semi-final of the Champions League. I remember I was watching. I was 9 years old, and I could not watch the penalty shootout because I was convinced in my head for some reason that they were going to lose if I watched it, and they won because I left the room.
Yeah, there you go.
Ever since then, any big occasion, any big event, either like I watch it like fucking through my fingers, or like I turn the other way, or like I'm in a different room, or I read the text commentary online. I won't actually like pay full attention and
That
watch,
is so
watch the
funny.
screen.
That's so fucking funny.
But it's weird because like I wouldn't believe in that stuff, but there's something
Mm-hmm.
there's something about it. It does work.
Yeah.
It does work.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I have any superstitions to do? I don't really think so. Nah, I don't think. I'm not superstitious like that. Like, would ghosts and stuff like that count as superstitious?
Oh yeah. Do you believe in ghosts?
yeah, I think so.
You believe in ghosts?
Not ghosts, but like there's something.
There is, yeah.
There's forces that be.
Forces beyond what we can comprehend.
There's fourth dimensional beings. So
definitely, yeah.
So they're probably influencing something
Yeah,
in our dimension. They have to be.
definitely, yeah. Like angels.
That's how it works, bro.
Yeah, I'd say so.
If I put my finger into a glass of water, I'm gonna move the glass of water.
Yeah.
So surely, if a fourth dimensional being puts their weird time fingers, that means something's gonna happen.
Or like the butterfly effect. Everything about that.
Yeah. Do you think the butterfly effect is like
Yeah.
small ripple and stuff like that?
Yeah. I saw a great tweet the other day. It was like, like my life has been going terrible. Like I need a change. One of you out there, please do something different, and like I'll let this butterfly effect take me away. It's like that's what I want people to do. You change, and then I'll just stay the same.
Yeah,
but it'll be better.
Yeah,
because
it'll work out. Don't worry.
You did the change for me.
Do you think like manifestation and stuff like that works?
No, if that worked, I'd be laughing. That's never worked for me. Oh, do you think it works?
But what was that thing that you told me about before? You read a book about magic. Was that a manifestation thing?
No, it's about more like advertising stuff.
Oh, right.
I suppose it works in that way, but that's like, maybe it does. If you really believe something, you're going to have, all your faculties. Like if you don't believe you can do something, then you're going to fail because, it's in your head. It's like subconscious.
Yeah.
Like if you have to talk to your subconscious on some level, I think. But like, to what extent can that be done consciously? I think I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it can be done. I think you have to really believe it. So maybe then it does work, because I don't believe in manifestation. So maybe if I did believe in it, it would work.
Yeah, I don't believe
It's
in
like Santa Claus or
manifestation, but like
something, yeah.
I imagine like sending out good vibes into the universe.
Yeah.
Or
It's
maybe
like
it's just your outlook on things gets better.
Yeah. It's like those people like hustle Instagram and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People who like honestly believe that the shit that they see on Instagram about like wake up at 9 a.m. like have sex with CEOs and at like 9:30 it's like stay awake till 2 a.m. like working on your next project and stuff. People actually believe that works. It will work better for them than it would for a normal person because they actually, for some reason, they actually believe in it.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you're just brainwashed to think that's gonna work.
I think that's just brainwashing. Yeah, marketing basically.
Yeah, the power of marketing, the power of suggestion.
Magic.
Yeah, what was it?
Fakery.
What was Johnny's next question?
Do you have a sweet tooth?
I do have a sweet tooth. Yeah.
I don't. I lost mine.
You lost yours.
I used to have one. I don't like sweet stuff now.
Do you like chocolate though? No.
I do, but I wouldn't eat it.
Mm.
I wouldn't usually eat it unless
I love a bit of chocolate.
unless there's nothing. Unless there's nothing else, I wouldn't usually eat chocolate. I just don't like it.
I like a bit of chocolate.
I like it at Easter and stuff, special occasions, but I wouldn't. Like fizzy drinks, I would never drink a fizzy drink. Usually,
No, I like.
very, very rarely.
I'll have
unless
like
it's like beer or something.
yeah. No, yeah,
because
definitely.
you can't really drink anything else.
I think like I will have. I'll give myself a treat. Like I'm gonna have like one like kind of Coke Zero or whatever, 7-Up specifically. I really like having just a can of 7-Up, but like just one.
Yeah, I was just saying I don't drink fizzy drinks. I have a can of Monster like, right beside me.
That's different though.
I just took a sip like a minute ago.
That's different.
Yeah.
Are you a dessert man though? Now, like if you're going out for a meal, do you get a dessert?
Rarely. Very
yeah,
rarely.
I don't like it. I don't like it in dessert.
I rarely have the room for a dessert.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's all different kinds. Some of them are really bad.
Yeah.
Some of them are really bad.
What's your favorite dessert?
Crepes.
Crepes.
You're chocolate
man.
crepes. I
Did
love
not know
crepes.
that.
Savory though.
Yeah. So do you prefer savory?
Savory stuff. Pack of potato, a crepe. There you go.
You're laughing.
I'm laughing.
Yeah, I think I'm not a big savory guy. Although having said that, I will devour a bag of skips.
Skips.
I fucking love skips.
Skips are really nice.
Yeah. They are, for me, the elite. You just put them in your mouth, they just melt, they go pop and fizzle in your mouth. Nothing better.
Yeah. What do you have to say next?
Can you remember the tallest man you've ever seen?
The tallest man I've ever seen. I have a distant cousin that's really fucking tall.
How tall is he?
He's like 6'7" or 8.
Jeez.
Yeah, like he's really tall.
6'7".
Shout out to Mark.
Yeah, that's top like 1%, isn't it?
Yeah, that is.
Extremely tall.
I don't, maybe he's not 6 or 7. He's like, maybe he's above 6'5" though.
Yeah, that is tall.
Like that's really fucking tall.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know any. I can't remember any tall people really. But I was in town last week. I saw this dog. Actually, I'll show you.
Yeah, you showed me this. Yeah,
did I show you that?
The big
Man,
massive dog.
I saw this Irish wolfhound, and he was fucking huge. If he stood up like on his hind legs, he would have been over 7 feet tall. I feel like he was absolutely massive. I was going to JD, and he was on the other side. He was at like outside cafe waiting for his owner, and he was with this other dog, hanging out. They weren't on leashes or anything. They were just chilling outside this cafe, and this other dog was like a fully grown Irish red setter. So like not a small dog at all. Like like roughly the same size as like a normal Labrador, which are big dogs ish. And this red setter was underneath, like under the legs of the Irish wolfhound. Wolfhound was like sitting down, and he got up, he stood up. And there was a whole ring of people around him going, "What the
fuck is this wolf doing
yeah.
here?"
I saw him coming up the street, and I was like, "There's no way." I was just like, my eyes are deceiving me here, And as I got closer, I was like, he's getting bigger. I thought it was just like, there's an optical illusion. Some guy walked past the other direction. He's like, look at the fucking size of that dog. He was absolutely mind blown, and I was mind blown as well. I could not believe it. He was absolutely huge, but he's a gentle giant.
A unit.
An absolute unit.
Yeah.
My God, I could not believe it.
Do you ever get a thing where when you see a really tall person, you kind of get like your monkey brain kicks and you're like,
it's scared.
Yeah, gotta run.
I don't know. I don't really see tall people that much.
You don't really see really tall people that much, no. But like, I'm trying to think, like, I'm pretty sure I've probably walked around Tesco and seen some fucking unit walking around. I love describing people as a unit. I think it's really funny. It's such a great description. It's like, that fucking unit.
Absolute unit. Yeah, I don't know. They're just people, aren't they?
They are just people.
They're people too.
Like if you said, you remember, you've seen It Follows, haven't you? You know the really tall guy that
that's really scary.
Yeah,
that's really scary.
Yeah, like that's a monkey brain going like run.
Yeah. Oh, there's a tall guy fucking walked in here right now. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
that would scare me.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, I think my brain would,
like,
especially if I'm sitting down, like fucking vulnerable.
Yeah, that guy's big.
Oh shit, he big.
Ever see that video of like a NBA? It's like an NBA broadcast or whatever. It's like in the middle of a game, and everyone's on the bench, like sitting down, obviously, and something happens on the court. And everyone stands up, and on the bench is like an average size, like someone like around our height. It's like a normal sized person, and he stands up, and everyone else stands up, and it looks like he just didn't stand up at all. But everyone else is like double his height all of a sudden. Yeah. Like it's a really funny video, but also kind of freaks me out.
I don't think I've seen someone like that tall, but I think if I did, my monkey brain would kick in.
You just start attacking them.
Yeah, it's like go for the knees.
Yeah.
Like just like I would like be like my brain would be like you're in trouble. Run.
You're both in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, usually they're all mad skinny, aren't they?
It doesn't matter. Height doesn't matter. Still, you know they like
Tall.
you know that thing where it's just like make yourself look as big as possible to scare away animals.
You just T-pose in
Yeah,
front
just
of
T-pose.
in front of someone who's like 6'5".
Ah! Yeah, but sure. Like we found like people in our school were pretty tall.
Really
on
tall.
the basketball heads.
Basketball people, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I suppose, yeah. 6, 7 and all.
but like they weren't like oh shit, run.
Imagine you just did that in school. Oh shit.
It's like Paddy Byrne walks in the room. Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah, people in the special class, all the small people. My school is divided by height, yeah.
Yeah, it's a higher level, lower level, but it's just height.
The classrooms are different sizes.
Yeah. I remember. Do you ever see that? There's like a TikTok trend where, like a girl that's like really like way shorter than her boyfriend gives her boyfriend her phone, and it's recording, but it's on like the front facing camera, and he puts the phone up to his face, and she can see what she looks like from his perspective.
Yeah. I've never seen that, but yeah.
All right, so I did that with because my sister's like a decent bit shorter than me, and I did that, and she was freaked out. She was like, "That's how you see me?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You can see the top of my head." I'm like, "Yeah, I can, yeah." And then I did it from her perspective. I was like, "Jesus!" Like, and then when you see someone that's shorter than you looking up at you, that's fucking weird. Because I rarely have to look up at someone like.
Yeah. That is a bit Paro, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like if you do that with Orla, because Orla's a bit taller than you, so you should do that with Orla.
I'm slightly taller
Yeah.
than Orla, by the way.
Are you taller than Orla?
Yeah.
I always thought that Orla was taller than you.
No, she just wears like things. Like,
She's cheating.
She's got the heels.
Yeah,
Man. Women are cheating, man.
Cheating.
No. But yeah, I think we're basically the same height, so it wouldn't really do
Yes.
anything.
Yeah, well,
I'll do it with Carl.
you do it with Carl, yeah, or do it with
Do my dad.
do
He's like,
it with Neil. Neil's way taller than us.
yeah.
Do it, or
Do
get
it with
Aaron. Darren, yeah.
Aaron, I'll get Aaron out.
Aaron's like.
We'll get Aaron out for one reason.
Yeah.
Here, man, you're
Aaron,
not tall.
I want to put this phone beside your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because like you never, like I can't imagine what someone smaller than me, what I look like to someone that's smaller than me. But when you do see it, you're like, that's really fucking weird. It's like, oh, you can see under my chin. It's gross.
Yeah, the neck beard.
Don't look at that. Don't look at me. Do you see any more questions?
There's a few more.
Does your computer ever seem to have a mind of its own?
Well, Johnny's asking us questions from like what, the 90s or something.
Yeah, that fucking computer he has. Some guy.
Some guy, that Mac 1.
Yeah. Yeah, my computers minds their own all the time.
All the time.
My computer died today.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. She died. She kind of had a mind of her own, but it was mainly because it's about 4 years worth of exposure to, you know,
Porn, yeah.
extreme porn. It was sort of like I clicked on everything that was on the page, you know. So
I clicked on all the pop-ups.
I clicked on
I exited out of them, trying to go deeper.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, isn't that a bit weird? Like, what if you got to the bottom of the pop-ups? What's at the end?
The dark web, that's it to get through.
Yeah, maybe. It's the only way to get through. Yeah. But, like, yeah, they fuck up your computer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because the algorithm, it gets you.
Yeah, it does.
The viruses. Let's just talk about the algorithm, because I'm not making any sense here.
The viruses?
What am I talking about? But yeah, I'm sounding like fucking Johnny Frakes here. Talking about the computer, the virus is on my computer. What the fuck?
I know it's gonna be the Instagram clip now.
Yeah, TikTok algorithms, Instagram algorithms. I feel like Instagram has a mind of its own a lot of the time. I think Facebook's algorithm is really weak. I think it's not adapted to our brains. It's adapted to all the brains.
It's adapted to that boomer brain.
Yeah. I don't know. I think TikTok is sort of on the cutting edge, but I don't use it that much.
I mean, you know, I found out that my dad's a boomer, technically, because he's born 1964, and 64 is the cutoff year.
64, is it?
Yeah, 64 is the cutoff year for the boomer generation.
That doesn't really work for us, though, does it? There's no boom.
Well, there's certainly no boom now.
Yeah.
No one can afford to have kids.
Yeah. I think we were the boom. We're technically, because the baby boom. Was there a baby boom here?
No, but I think it's just a generation thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're just part of that generation, even though it really affected
America
and whatever. But it's obviously not very well adapted to the boomer brain because my dad can't figure out Facebook at all.
Yeah, my dad's the same. He had this thing where he clicked on a link, and now his Facebook app is permanently in Mandarin. So just every time he tries to input something, it's just in Mandarin. It comes out in Chinese. You know.
My dad.
You have to get a new phone.
My dad does this thing where, like, when we were moving into my gaff, he tried to send a photo because we were getting an extension done. He tried to send a photo of like the work on the extension to my mum and go like ooh la la, but he sent it to a porn page called ooh la la. Just a photo of this gaff.
What? It's a great location.
It's like, how the fuck did you manage to do that? Like, he put in the search bar ooh la la instead of like clicking onto my mom's profile and then going into messages and sending her a message.
Yeah.
He only realized in the past 2 years that the Facebook Messenger app wasn't his like texting app.
Oh right, yeah.
So he was like texting people work shit.
Yeah.
Thinking that he was sending it as a text message. Like, you're sending like really important work stuff in a Facebook message
over Messenger.
Oh God bless him.
Just pictures of dead bodies, like.
Yeah, just like the usual. Oh no, so funny.
But yeah,
the algorithm though does have a mind of its own. Computers do.
They're gonna win.
I feel like if I open up my old laptop now, I was only thinking about this the other day, that thing would explode if I turned it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's the reverse. My laptop in 2013 works better now, but I got it fixed in like 2019 or something, and then I got a new one. And the new one's fucked, but the old one actually works fairly well now. It just doesn't. Yeah, like I can't use headphones or anything. But like
that's bad, no.
Yeah, it's annoying, but like it still works. Still goes on the internet and stuff. It just works like a school computer kind of way.
Yeah,
where you just surf the web and that's about it.
Yeah.
It still works though.
Yeah, it works well enough.
Yeah, I just need to get a new one though. But
well, we leave it at that.
We'll leave it there for this week.
Leave it there.
Any recommended films for episode 75?
Fuck.
For it.
Yeah, so this I've been thinking about this for a very long time. My recommended film for episode 75. Jeez, man. Episode 75 is going to be Abbas Kiarostami's Close Up.
Oh, Close Up. 70s.
A similar kind of 1990. A similar kind of thing to for Fake about authenticity and some real meta and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting.
Bit of yeah.
It's a documentary where they recreated a guy that stole these people's identity, but they got the actual people that happened to play themselves.
It's bad out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bad out. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, a bit of continuity
be
between Fake, Close Up.
No, it's similar themes.
Fraud.
There you go. Fraud. We're all frauds here on Paropod.
Paro fraud.
Oh, that's gonna be the name of the episode.
Yeah! There we go.
God bless. Right. Talk to you all. Bye.
See you, lads.